Are you ready for some smart, plain talk on politics, Israel, and the law? It's the Andrew Parker Show. Let's roll. Welcome to another episode of the Andrew Parker Show. Thank you very much for joining us for this special episode number 419. Holy mackerel, can you believe 419? And as we've talked about a number of times, politics, Israel, and the law is what we focus on. And boy, has it been busy, sadly busy, as the Jews through the millennia have had to deal with trial and tribulation. Nothing more horrific than what we have had to deal with of late, of the last almost couple of years, as we're coming up on the 2-year anniversary of October 7. Not an anniversary to celebrate, most certainly. But on this episode 419, we are honored to have with us co-founder of a very important memorial exhibit called Through Their Eyes, the Story of Kfar Azza, a kibbutz in the Gaza envelope, a kibbutz that I, in fact, visited several months ago when I was in Israel. And the story of Kfar Azza is truly horrifying. It is almost impossible to fathom in all of its dimension without going there and being there. And even then, you think when you're there, it must be a movie set or something like that. But this was real. This happened to real people, real life. And it's important that we not forget. And it's important that we learn, that we become educated, that we not turn away. And so, as I say, we are honored to have with us today someone who is making sure that we have the opportunity to learn, that we have the opportunity to make sure this never happens again, and that we actually take it in and do not turn away. Believe me, there is much that you do not know of what occurred at Kfar Azza. So stay with us during this episode of the Andrew Parker Show, and you too will learn. So we're joined today by Lawrence Badzin, co-founder, what's it called? The Survival Project?
Surviving Project.
Surviving Project, which is bringing the exhibit Through Their Eyes, the Story of Kfar Azza, to Minneapolis. And the dates are September 25th through October 11th. The exhibit is really, I the word spectacular comes to mind, but I don't mean it in a positive way. I mean it in an educational way. And in fact, during the first few days of the exhibit, uh, 5 survivors of the Kfar Azza attack will be joining the exhibit and joining us, and you all should attend. 2 were taken hostage, ultimately later released, and 3 others survived the attack in Kfar Azza. Again, it's unbelievable that they did. If you have been to Kfar Azza, and even if you haven't, you should definitely, either way, get to the exhibit. But you will see the sheer and total destruction. When I was there, in fact, the father of a son who lived in Kfar Azza was there giving a talk. His son was beheaded on that day, on October 7th. And it is a bone chilling reminder, the story that was told over by his father. So, Lawrence Badzin, tell me a little bit about how you got involved in this and what it was that really, I mean, you aren't a regular creator of exhibits. How is it that you got to where you're at today in bringing Through Their Eyes to the Twin Cities?
First, Andrew, thank you for having me on your show. And Mazel Tov, congrats on 419. 419?
Yes, it is.
It's getting close to the 613, the number of commandments. That'll be a big day.
Yes, it will.
But thanks for having me on your show. It's an honor. I've been living in Israel for 25 years. I was born and raised native of Minneapolis, Minnesota. And we hooked in with the community of Kfar Azza after my wife and I decided in March of 2024 that we wanted to take our staff. We have a small auto parts company in Israel. We want to take our staff to visit the kibbutz, one of the kibbutzim that was attacked and experienced this massacre, this horrific day. And Kfar Azza just happens to be the one that we hooked up with. We did multiple outreach, fundraising activities, involvement for the kibbutz over the following months. And in October 2024, in kibbutz Shvaim in Israel, where for a number of almost a year plus, most of the residents of Kfar Azza were living, they had this exhibit. They set up this exhibit. They invited donors and people who were involved. They ended up opening up to the public, and it was such a strong exhibit that when my wife and I were there, we said maybe we can bring this exhibit to the United States, fundraise to have it go to different cities, and so on and so forth. We thought it was going to be a project of a couple months to get it to Minneapolis. We said Minneapolis because that's where I'm from. And it's turned into a 11-month project, and we say thank God that September 25th it's launching.
Yeah, amazing. An extraordinary amount of work. So you grew up in Minneapolis, the Minneapolis area. You then moved to Israel. Tell us a little bit about when that occurred and what you've been doing in Israel, and then we'll talk more about the project.
Yeah, no problem. Graduated actually from Hopkins High School, and then went to school, university in the University of Iowa. Moved to Israel around 2000, early 2000, around 2002. First, I was on a kibbutz because I wanted that taste of Israel, of how the country was founded. After that, I joined the IDF. I served as a combat medic for around a year. After that, I was just working in the public sector. I was in the high-tech patent industry before I joined our family business of auto parts, and did an international stunt before opening up a shop in Israel in 2016.
And how's business been in Israel that since you've been there, well, since your shop was open?
Yeah, it's good. You know, everybody in Israel says, "Oh, you know, America is so easy." I go, no, it's not much different. There's collection problems there. There's, you know, a lot of competition. There's so on and so forth. But it's great. We are in a brick and mortar, people to people business, and that's what I love. You know, the people connection. One of the most important points, which is the luck of the success of our business. My wife found the location where our warehouse is. She's a Yemenite Israeli. We've been married for going on 20 years. We got 4 girls. She's helped me acclimate and really adjust who I am to better identify and connect with the Israeli culture. Because every country you go to, even every state in the United States of America,
Sure.
if you don't understand the culture of the people from the place, then you're gonna have a hard time. And so that has really helped me acclimate and become really, I'd say 50% Israeli and 50% American since then.
If you're watching the news around the time that this episode will drop, you will see that Israel took strong offensive action to eliminate several of the leaders of Hamas just this week. Donald Trump announced that Hamas had one last chance. That was done early in the week. They did not take advantage of releasing the hostages, which was the one last chance. And so the remaining Hamas leadership, much of it, has been eliminated, has been destroyed through a direct attack into Qatar. There are many that are wringing their hands saying, oh, you can't do that. You can't take them out in an assassination method. Well, wait a minute. If you ordered the murders on October 7th, the heinous acts of October 7th, if you were involved in them, if you carried them out, oh, yes, you can expect to be eliminated. And that is the moral construct that we should all be living by, the Republican Party and the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party, unfortunately, I have to pick on this one. I don't do it all the time, but you just have to call it out when it is. And so this episode of the show reminds us of why it is so important that this evil be excised, be removed from the earth. Through their eyes, the story of Kfar Azza. What is Kfar Azza? What was it before October 7, 2023? And then what occurred on that day?
Kfar Azza is actually one of the more thriving kibbutzim communities in the south and along the Gaza border. They call it the Gaza envelope. It was a community of about 1,000 people with a waiting list of about 200 people to get in. They slowly add members to the community every year. Had a strong industry, agricultural. They were peaceniks, peaceniks that they believe in peace. They had a lot of over-border, cross-border initiatives with Palestinians in Gaza. There was many Palestinians that were working in Kfar Azza, which unfortunately after October 7th, it was found out that's how much of their intelligence was gathered about everything they knew about where to go during the attack of October 7th. But the people there, and really the people in all of the South, and I've said this to many people, this story through their eyes is just one story, but very representative of all the stories of that day, October 7th, 2023, that all of these 20 plus communities faced with regards to this Hamas attack and massacre. So the story, again, it's actually not a graphic story. It's not about the attack. It's about the people that died and humanizing their personal life stories. And from that, we gain resilience and hope for the future. And that's really what you see in this community of Kfar Azza. They're just very resilient, just like Israelis in general. But I mean, to go through something like this, Andrew, and to lose and to have hostages and to not
Amazing.
be home, which is, by the way, why we call it the surviving project, because they're not survivors. Survivors is like, oh, something happened and you're back home now. They are still surviving, trying to get home, trying to get the bodies of hostages back home so they can mourn, try to get their kids, Ziv and Gali Berman, twin brothers from Kfar Azza that are still in captivity going on. We're over 700 days now. But again, to see the community, I've met them so many times. And I said, I just get the shivers when I'm sitting across the table from you guys, because how are you standing up? How do you eat? How do you breathe still? But there's only two options. You're either a victim or you keep going and you stay resilient and strong. And that's really what that community is.
And now a word from our sponsors. A record of success second to none. Parker Daniels Keyboard Law Firm, the numbers tell the story. The last 5 cases our lawyers have brought to trial have resulted in million and multi-million-dollar verdicts for our plaintiff clients and 0 defense verdicts for our defense clients. Put simply, we try cases and we win cases. Hi, I'm Andrew Parker. At Parker Daniels Keyboard, we take our work personally and we go the extra mile. That is why some of the biggest law firms, locally and nationally, send cases to us to handle when they can't. If you have a challenging and critically important business or personal legal dispute that must be favorably resolved, whether regarding a contract matter, a business divorce, a real estate dispute, an employment dispute, a civil rights or defamation matter, plain talk, if it's a big deal, contact us at Parker Daniels Keyboard. Wise counsel, winning results. Go to parkerdk.com. Looking to reduce your tax liability and grow your portfolio? Consider Texas-based Texacoma Resources. They have been delivering results for over 40 years in energy investments. Investors may benefit with strategic advantages like depreciation, depletion, and drilling, but should consult their tax advisors for their specific situation. In addition, those who invest in August will receive a 5% investment bonus. Don't wait. Call True North Investment at 612-968-3442 to learn more. That's True North Investment, 612-968-3442. Texacoma Energy that works for you. It's amazing, and the exhibit is amazing. The focus of the exhibit is amazing. Again, September 25th through October 11 in St. Louis Park. Just quickly, and we'll come back. I want to talk further about the exhibit and some of the people that will be with you on that day. But where can people get tickets for the exhibit?
So all tickets are processed through the exhibition's website. Through Their Eyes is the name of the exhibit. So we did the acronym TTEexhibit.com. TTE like Through Their Eyes, exhibit.com. And there you can find background information of what the exhibit consists of. You can find a background of what is a kibbutz for all those people that don't know what a kibbutz is. And that's where you actually purchase your tickets for $10 a piece. All of the proceeds going to all the ticket sales are going to Kfar Azza's young adult and young family neighborhood, which was hit the hardest. The most people were killed and taken hostage from that neighborhood. All that money that we raise will go to rebuilding that neighborhood in Kfar Azza.
And believe me, that is the particular neighborhood that I visited when I was there. Believe me, it is so sad. It is so horrific what you find, what you see there. And all young people lived in that area. Yep. TTE Exhibit, all one word, TTEexhibit.com. Go there, learn more about the exhibit. The location of the exhibit in Minneapolis?
Unfortunately, because of the world we live in today,
you can't give it yet.
Yeah, after you purchase a ticket, then you get a confirmation saying here's where the location is. But it's
think about that. That's what we have to do as Jews. Yeah, it's it's topsy-turvy, moral clarity lacking. No understanding, but that is what we have to do. But go to TTEexhibit.com. All right, let's turn back. If maybe you can describe the exhibit and who will be with us during the first few days of the exhibit.
Yeah, absolutely. So the exhibit itself is broken into 3 different sections. The main section is consisting of 5 different areas. First, focus on the 64 civilian deaths. Second area is focused on the security team, the first responders on the kibbutz that took action to defend the community when the attack took place. It was 13 people on the security team against 100 plus terrorists that infiltrated. The third part is the rescue forces. So it's the paramedics, it's the medics, it's the soldiers, it's the police that showed up. Fourth section is designated for the hostages that were taken. Unfortunately, most of the hostages have been released and come home, except for, like I mentioned, Keith and Gali and Ziv Berman, twin brothers. And then the fifth section is actually large television screens that have running the group chats that took place on that day from the start of the attack until middle day. What people were hearing, seeing, experience, really horrific. Actually, it's makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up in a bad way. So that's the main part of the exhibit, and then there's two other pieces of the exhibit. One is the photo gallery that shows Kfar Azza before and after the October 7th attacks, and then the third part is a personal testimony area that we set up almost like a mini theater room where you can walk in, and there's three personal testimonies that are told of wives and children of their loved ones that went out to fight and defend the kibbutz on that day and fell in battle.
Yeah, wow. An amazing exhibit. I definitely am going to go again, tteexhibit.com. Who's going to be with you from Israel during the first few days of the project?
So we're fortunate to be hosting a delegation of 5 people from Kfar Azza, in addition to the curator of the exhibit and one of the people from the nonprofit organization. But the 5 people from Kfar Azza, and my wife and I will be hosting them here in Minneapolis, will be in for the opening days, the 25th until the 30th. It's 5 surviving members. 2 of them former hostages, Keith and Aviva Siegel. Keith is actually born and raised in America, moved to Israel when he was 20 years old, and his wife Aviva from South Africa moved to Israel when she was 8 years old. They lived in Kfar Azza for over 40 years, were taken at gunpoint from their home in Kfar Azza.
They were about 60 years old at the time of the attack?
They're, I think, 64 now, 65, something like that. Taken at gunpoint in their own car, driven into Gaza Strip. Aviva was in captivity for about 60 days. Keith was there for about 474 days, I believe.
Wow.
Phenomenal stories. In addition to that, there's 3 other people who were fortunate to survive the attack, but also have horrific stories. Everybody with their own significant story of survival and surviving for the past 2 years, not just on that day, to hopefully get their lives back in order. So all 5 of them will be with us, and at the exhibit to meet, greet, host, join groups, people, individuals that sign up and attend the exhibit on the 25th to the 30th of September.
Wow. September 25 to 30, the Siegels will be there. Others as well from Kfar Azza to provide personal testimonies for their experience. Keith Siegel, over 470 days as a hostage, providing his experience, real life experience as a hostage in the tunnels of Gaza. And Aviva Siegel was there for 2 months as well, living in the dark in the tunnels of Gaza. You know, it's really amazing that we are able to get the live feed of what happened on that day. Yep. People still deny it. They still say it didn't happen. It's overstated. This sort of thing to find excuses. But in fact, this is live feed that is part, I guess, 5 of the exhibit that you were able to recover.
Yeah. I mean, everything is really personal, live stories, because the people who fell on that day, who died, who were killed, the stories of what happened is from the people, from their family, the friends in the community. And now for this delegation to be coming over, you can't hear it from a more exact source than you can at this exhibition coming up. So it's a phenomenal experience.
And how is it that you went about putting this together? It's a Herculean project, really, to get the funding for it. to get buy-in from all of the various groups, and then to bring it over to the States. I know it's starting in Minneapolis. Are you expecting that this will be the only showing of the project?
So I was fortunate that my wife is a partner with me in this, as well as my sister, my wife Maytala, and my sister Jackie. And my sister Jackie comes from the events world. She's got her own company called Studio Badzin that does dinners, events, VIP events. And it has been a enormous project.
She knows what it's about.
She knows. I told her, let's go live and launch it in 3 months. She thought I was crazy. She was right. I was crazy. It's taken 11 months to get here. It's been a ton of work. All the fundraising has been through private donors, whether it's colleagues, friends, family, neighbors, so on and so forth. We've raised over 600,000 US to cover the cost of the exhibit, with additional proceeds going to Kfar Azza, like we mentioned. We're still trying to fundraise to get up to $1 million. It's been a heck of a project, and we just feel like everybody needs. There's so much to do for Israel and for the world in general, that everybody needs to do their little piece. And I, as an auto parts salesman, didn't think it was going to be such a big project, but it's very rewarding if we can get people, as many people as possible, to show up and have this experience, which is so powerful. It's really something I don't think that would normally ever come to a city like Minneapolis. But since we're in Minneapolis, that's where we're starting. And the goal is, with the surviving project, to continue this exhibition as a traveling exhibition to hopefully many other cities across the United States of America, to keep the story out and get the exposure to the doorstep of many other communities.
An amazing project. September 25th through October 11th. Go to TTEexhibit.com. That's TTEexhibit.com. You can contribute, donate. You can get your tickets from the website, and you can read more on kibbutzim in the state of Israel, Kfar Azza in particular, both before and after. But again, September 25th to the 30th, you will have personal testimonies from 5 survivors of the attack, who are surviving, as the project is called, every single day. And they will be in the Twin Cities and in attendance in order to provide their first-hand testimony from September 25th through the 30th. In addition, there is going to be a panel discussion, I understand, Lawrence, at Beth El Synagogue on September 28th. Listen up to this. It's going to be fascinating, very interesting, as the 5 survivors who are going to be in the Twin Cities during the last several days of September will be on a panel at Beth El Synagogue, moderated by Noa Tishby, who is really traveling the world to bring notice and in the forefront the issues that were faced by Israel, because they are being swept aside as the war in Gaza rages on. We forget about the real life impact of the heinous atrocities of Hamas and the Palestinians that attacked on October 7th. So, Lawrence, maybe you can describe, but as I understand it, you can get tickets to the panel discussion on September 28th. That's a Sunday night at 6:30 by going to BESYN. That's Beth El, BE Synagogue, SYN, 5 letters, BESYN .org. And you go to the events tab, and you will see this moderated event through their eyes set for September 28th, and you can get your tickets there.
Yep. It's going to be an extremely powerful event. This is really a bonus to the whole exhibition that we're putting on. And so, where the exhibition is called Through Their Eyes, because it's a self-immersed visual, mostly exhibition, this is, we're calling Voices of Kfar Azza, where everybody will have the opportunity to really hear the personal, extremely powerful stories of each individual from the kibbutz Kfar Azza that will be part of the delegation, all 5 people. Their story of what was Kfar Azza before October 7th, where were they on October 7th, and the past 2 years, where have they been? Well, how have they been surviving? Some in captivity, some just moving around trying to get home, some waiting to mourn their loved ones. It's going to be a very, very powerful event and very complimentary to seeing the exhibit as well.
That's September 28th at 6:30. Go to besyn.org. Go to the events tab, and you can get your tickets for this very special, eye-opening experience with survivors of Kfar Azza, moderated by Noa Tishby. Special days for sure. TTEexhibit.com. Lawrence Badzin, thank you so much for the work you are doing for the Jewish people, but most importantly for the state of Israel, and to keep alive and clear and with truth and focus what occurred on October 7th, such that we should never, ever forget, and we should always make sure it never occurs again.
Absolutely.
Thank you for joining me on the Andrew Parker Show.
Thanks, Andrew. I appreciate it. God bless.
So go to the andrewparkershow.com, subscribe, follow, like us there. Go to the YouTube channel and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Engage us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. It's all right there for you. And text us. You have a question, you have a problem, you have an issue. Text us at 952-522-2818. 952-522-2818. We went to the mailbag on our last episode, and we will again coming up. But if you agree with what we're talking about, what our opinions are on the Andrew Parker Show, send us a text. If you disagree, I like those even better. Send them along. Thank you once again. And until our next episode, be kind to your neighbor. For more smart, plain talk, go to theandrewparkershow.com. Learn about all of your listening and viewing options. And remember, all the great things are simple, and many can be expressed in a single word: freedom, justice, honor, duty, mercy, hope. This episode of The Andrew Parker Show is sponsored by Parker Daniels Keyboard and True North Private Investments.
Did your employer make you sign a promissory note when joining the company, and now you want to leave, but you're afraid your firm will pursue you personally for that debt? This is Jesse Keyboard from the law firm Parker Daniels Keyboard. I recently represented a client who had signed such a note, and I was able to get them out of their $500,000 debt to their company, which allowed them the freedom to exit a bad employment situation and enter a much better one. Meeting our clients' objectives is our focus at Parker Daniels Keyboard, and in this regard, we win. Our experienced trial team of lawyers at Parker Daniels Keyboard have secured major victories in state and federal courts across the country and through arbitration. We have the legal expertise in all types of business disputes, labor and employment matters, real estate matters, shareholder disputes, financial transactions, security issues, and appeals. For wise counsel, winning results, contact us at Parker Daniels Keyboard, a premier litigation law firm that provides efficient, aggressive, and innovative solutions to complex legal problems. Wise counsel, winning results. Go to parkerdk.com.
Looking to reduce your tax liability and grow your portfolio? Consider Texas-based Texacoma Resources. They have been delivering results for over 40 years in energy investments. Investors may benefit with strategic advantages like depreciation, depletion, and drilling, but should consult their tax advisors for their specific situation. In addition, those who invest in August will receive a 5% investment bonus. Don't wait. Call True North Investment at 612-968-3442 to learn more. That's True North Investment, 612-968-3442. Texacoma Energy that works for you.